Hello everyone, and welcome to our Assassin's Creed Valhalla Let's Play. Today we embark upon our journey with Fiery Ambush.
I ain't in the business of helping you.
Dear man, would you live under Edwin's boot?
There's Folke.
That is where you will be if these supplies reach her castle. It's for the good of your Shire.
You've lost your senses.
What's the noise about?
She's trying to rob me. I warned you, soldiers are coming to escort me any minute.
This merchant is taking supplies to the castle. Oil for boiling, arrows, shields, rations. I offered to buy them, but he refuses.
I don't sell on a future promise of profit. Edwin's a valuable customer.
Then I'll make you a new author. How about a story? I'll spin you a tale in exchange for your wares.
That's an odd bargain, Dane, but I'll bite. Sing me one of your sagas.
The wild winds wandered. The seas spit salt. The night fell into slumber. Wise Odin rose and bade farewell. He pulled on boots of leather.
Bit of a slow start. Pick it up.
Long before the beginning, before you and I and the others, Wise Odin looked with his one wan eye, stared and blinked and thundered.
This Odin fella, he's one of your gods, innit?
The moon burns red, the sea foams gold, Wise Odin utters the words.
Right, this is not what I wanted. Stop it, will ya?
The snake coils, Loki yowls, poison drips from the mouth.
Enough, enough! Is this some sort of Nordic curse? Run! Go!
How does it end?
They all die. We can use these oil jars to surprise the soldiers.
I see visions of burning men, the screams of soldiers aflame. If we place the oil and supplies near the hay along the road, it will burn like hellfire when the soldiers arrive.
Take position on that bluff and watch for the soldiers, would you?
You'll hear me howl as the men approach.
The gods here are vigilant.
Alrighty here, so it does look like we actually need to use these in order to kind of set up a trap here. So obviously we're really interested in making a really successful ambush. I'm actually going to end up dropping these pretty much right on top of these hay, considering that I think this might be the easiest way to go about it. Obviously we want to try to chain link as many of them as we can, but at the same time we also need to kind of hide them just a little bit so that they're not incredibly obvious to everybody. Now, of course, with that one kind of sitting so closely into the street, I don't really know if we're really hiding it too well, but at the end of the day, if we can set up a pretty good trap, I think ultimately we're going to be successful, and that's really all that matters when it comes down to it. Now, of course, I do want to make sure I get these kind of spread out, just in case. I feel like when that first one goes off, these guys are probably going to be a little bit intelligent. It's really hard to say. I mean, they could equally be just as dumb.
What was that?
Edwin's men approach.
Alright, well, of course we're going to head all the way to the tippy top here. I do want to try to get some kind of an advantage, considering that I feel like if we have the high ground, it's going to make our life pretty easy.
That overhanging branch is a good vantage for a first strike.
Now, it does look like we do have several guys. Some guys are using shields, some are kind of just waltzing about. I'm going to venture and say those guys on the right-hand side are most likely archers, but I think we'll know a little bit more information as they get a little closer.
They're here.
Now, as they get a little bit closer, I'm going to try to wait until they're about right in this particular area, considering that they'll have fire on both sides of them. They will not be able to circumvent this, and I think we're actually going to be able to deal an absolute ton amount of damage to these guys.
Spring the trap now.
Now, we should have some really good fire going on, as you guys can see. These guys, I don't think, are going to really have a lot of great opportunities. Obviously, we did fall all the way down there, but of course that was intentional. As a master assassin, we're always trying to set up some really good traps at the end of the day. Once again here, as you guys can see, we are using our prestigious archery abilities to kind of line things up. Obviously, these guys are really not having a great time, as you guys can see. And it does look like we're dealing some pretty good damage. Obviously, we want to try to continue to get these guys to come over to us, but as of the moment, I think we were able to do some pretty good damage, but obviously, I really wish we were able to take out some of these bigger guys, though. I'm going to get away from that guy, considering that I don't feel like he's going to be very nice, and ultimately, I'm not really in the business of getting hit by those kind of weapons. At least on a consistent basis. I mean, I do make exceptions every once in a blue moon, but of course, at the end of the day, we don't want to make a habit of this. Of course, we're going to continue to work our way forward. Obviously, we were able to get some pretty good line of sight on these guys. It looks like we're going to be able to help out our companion here. And ultimately, just one more individual, which appears to really be trying to work his way to victory.
That's the last of them. Edwin will be waiting for aid that never comes. Something wrong?
No. No, quite the opposite. At Sancte Albanus, your brother claimed kinship with the gods. Is it true? Is he descended from the Archon's children, the Isu?
Not to be blunt, Fulke, but only half of what you say ever makes any sense to me.
Forgive me. I often presume too much of my audience. Men who fear damnation, when ignorance is the greatest of all evils.
Ignorance of what?
What a perfect sentence. I'll ask more simply. Could your brother be descended of the god? Or could he be a god himself?
I don't know. I want to deny it, but I've seen things in my life. Visions, prophecies. It's difficult to explain.
Heed your visions. Always. You may have been touched by true knowledge.
Sigurd is only a man, the son of a king and my brother. He may think highly of himself, but he's no god.
Yet it's possible his line of kings was fathered by a god. In ages past.
We haven't time for these fantasies, Fulke. It's time I regroup with Giedrich to see how his assault preparations are coming along.
Godspeed, Eivor. I will stay here to pray for the souls of the dead before I join you.